Chapter 11 Xu Jingming hides his strength. Curious head teacher. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhou Mingyang, who ranks first, has a score of 412, and it seems that he has already started a killing spree in the central region. His light and swift wind is really good for traveling. His speed is not inferior to others even in the martial arts college entrance examination in the provincial capital city. Speaking of which, Principal Lu is the best. Almost all of the top 10 are from your school. In the open space outside the ruined town, there are 10 huge projection screens. This was filmed using a military drone to track and capture the top 10 candidates with current scores. Below these 10 huge projection screens, there are thousands of small projection screens densely packed. Those were taken from fixed cameras placed in the ruined town, and were only zoomed into the main projection when necessary. Next to the projection screen is a ranking list, which details the scores and ranking information of each candidate. In the temporary auditorium set up below the projection screen, the Education Bureau and the principals and teachers of each school were all commenting on the ranked students. One of the middle-aged men wearing a suit and short hair was the focus of the conversation. He is Lu Hang, the principal of Jiangqing No. 1 High School, among the top 10 in the martial arts ranking list. Except for the only student from the 3rd high school, the rest are all students from the 1st high school. Zhou Mingyang is our ace in Jiangqing. In this martial arts college entrance examination, he should be able to break into the top 100 in Jiangnan province. In the front row of the audience, there was a short, fat middle-aged man, looking at Zhou Mingyang who was killing everyone on the first projection screen. He couldn't help but nodded slightly. His name is Zhang Wenshan, director of Jiangqing Education Bureau. Speaking of which, our Jiangqing has not produced a candidate who has entered the top 100 in Jiangnan province for many years. Lu Hang, the principal of No. 1 High School sitting next to the director of the Education Bureau, was also a little emotional. Jiangnan province is the most populous province of Daxia, with 24 prefecture-level cities and nearly 34 county-level cities. Jiangqing is located in the most remote northern part of Jiangnan province and is lacking in resources. Its economic development is also at the bottom among the 24 prefecture-level cities. Mingyang, the capital of Jiangnan province, allocates very little education funding every year. It is precisely because of this that Jiangqing failed to achieve very good results in the annual martial arts college entrance examination. The best performance in history was 7 or 8 years ago, when someone awakened A-level powers and reached the top 100 in Jiangnan province. Several years passed, and although there were A-level superpowers appearing in Jiangqing, they never made it into the top 100 in Jiangnan province, but this time Zhou Mingyang gave them hope again. I have always been satisfied with the education provided by your No. 1 high school. Zhang Wenshan, director of the Education Bureau, nodded. The 3rd high school is also good. Someone finally made it into the top 10. But the 2nd high school is a bit worse. The best result is only 18th place. Jiangqing No. 1 High School is the best middle school in Jiangqing. In previous year's martial arts college entrance examination, the top 10 were all dominated by students from the 1st high school, and there were no students from the 2nd or 3rd high school at all. We do have several talented students in this class. The principal of No. 3 high school had an unstoppable smile on his face. Compared with him, Zhao Yao, the principal of the 2nd high school next to him, looked a little embarrassed. You know, in previous years, the 2nd high school always dominated the 3rd high school. This year it seems to be the other way around. But our high school performance does not seem to be very good this year. Zhao Yao, the principal of No. 2 high school, searched for a long time in the score rankings and found that only 8 students from No. 2 high school appeared in the top 50. Ling Ming, Nong Jian, Tang Ju, these are all students from the rocket class. But who is this Xu Jingming? Why have I never seen this name before? The scores in the martial arts college entrance examination directly determine the allocation of education funds for each middle school. Therefore, Zhao Yao knew a little about the outstanding students in his school, but he had never heard of the name Xu Jingming. Maybe they are hidden students in other parallel classes. I'll find out later by asking the class teachers. Zhao Yao didn't pay much attention to this. After all, there are so many students in 2nd high school, and it's not surprising that there are occasionally 1 or 2 students who hide their own strength. Principal Zhao Yao didn't pay much attention, but Chen Fan, the head teacher of Class 5, Class 3, second high school, in the back row, was confused. He knew clearly about Xu Jingming. The other party is just an E-level power awakener. How could he break into the top 50? And now, among their entire Class 5, Xu Jingming ranks highest. Simply incredible. Is he hiding his strength? But no matter how you hide it, an E-level power is an E-level power. Can it suddenly become an S-level power? Then how did he get such a high score? In the martial arts college entrance examination, they are all real fights with ferocious beasts, so there is no chance of any watershed. Unfortunately, the main screen above only shows the top 10 students. There are thousands of fixed cameras below, so densely packed that it is difficult to see them clearly. It was impossible for Chen Fan to find Xu Jingming's picture among them. Without being able to see the screen, I don't know what Xu Jingming relied on to get such a high score from his class teacher Chen Fan. It's like a kitten that smells catnip but can't eat it and feels itchy. In the ruined town, after half an hour of running, Xu Jingming finally entered the central area. Ho! Ouch! Compared with the outer areas, there are obviously more ferocious beasts in the central area. While walking on the road, Xu Jingming could hear the roars and roars of ferocious beasts in the distance. There seemed to be an aura of blood and violence in the air. Click! Xu Jingming was holding a long gun, holding a nutritional bar in his mouth, and stepped on an old plastic basin on the roadside with his combat boots. The originally tough plastic has become as crispy as dry noodles after decades of wind and rain, and will break into dregs with just a light step. While walking, Xu Jingming observed the surrounding environment. Weiyuan Town, the predecessor of the ruined town, has a population of almost 100,000 when the ferocious beast broke through the city's defense line. Many people had not had time to evacuate, and almost 50,000 to 60,000 people were killed in the mouth of the ferocious beast. In the outer suburbs, there are still no special traces. You can enter the location equivalent to the urban area of the ruined town, but he could see the dried dark red blood on the dilapidated ground from the surrounding cars that hadn't had time to drive away, as well as a few scattered human skeletons that have not yet been weathered. The blood and cruelty of that year can be seen. Chapter 12: Crazy Killing, Harvesting PowerPoints. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The urban area is the place with the largest population, and it was also the place that was most seriously harmed by the beasts. Of course, it is precisely because of this that the buildings in the urban area are more dilapidated than those in the suburbs. There is almost no intact building wherever Xu Jingming looks. Xia uses actual combat as the assessment method for the martial arts college entrance examination. In addition to testing strength, I am afraid that they also want to let the awakened witness the powerful destructive power of the beasts in person. Xia's protection of its citizens can be said to be done to the extreme, except for some unlucky citizens whose cities have been attacked by beasts. Other citizens will never see beasts in real life in their entire lives. For ordinary people, there is no problem with doing this, but to cultivate superpowers, it is naturally better to recognize the brutality of beasts as soon as possible. Roar! When Xu Jingming was thinking, a low roar sounded, and a beast rushed out from the ruins. It looks a bit like a tiger, but its body is more than a circle larger, and its hair is also a mixture of yellow and green. The most eye-catching thing is the bone knife growing on its forearm like a blade. It was clearly bone, but it seemed to have a metallic luster. Behind it, there was a whip-like tail hanging down to the ground. First level fierce beast, arm knife tiger. Xu Jingming narrowed his eyes slightly. Like the shadow cat, the arm knife tiger is also a common fierce beast. The method to determine the level of the arm knife tiger is also very simple. Just observe the length of the bone knife on their forearm. Those shorter than 20 centimeters are not in the level, and those longer than 20 centimeters are fierce beasts that have entered the level. The bone knife on the forearm of this arm knife tiger in front of him is 22 or 23 centimeters long, and it is a first-level lower-level fierce beast. Compared with the arm knife tiger that Xu Jingming encountered before, the breath of this fierce beast is obviously much stronger. In a pair of amber eyes, there is a surging bloodthirstiness. It seems that I am lucky. I just encountered a first-level beast when I entered the central area. After drinking the remaining liquid in the energy bar, Xu Jingming, who felt full again in his abdomen, raised his mouth slightly. Just use you to test my gun skills. Throwing the energy bar in his hand, Xu Jingming did not retreat but advanced, dragging the black spear towards the arm-knife tiger. Dinglingling. The black spear dragged on the dilapidated cement road, accompanied by a harsh friction sound and sparks flying. As a first-level beast, this arm-knife tiger already has some initial wisdom. The arm-knife tiger, which has a brutal character, let out an angry roar. Roar. Then the huge body rushed towards Xu Jingming like a tank. Even if you ignore its bloody mouth and sharp bone knife, this huge body alone is enough to make most candidates helpless. However, Xu Jingming was not afraid at all, and there was no panic in his eyes. With a force on his right hand, the black spear dragging on the ground was swung up like a windmill. Then, he stabbed the arm-knife tiger fiercely. Xu Jingming's original blood value was 140 points, and his physique was stronger than most candidates. Now that his spear skills have reached an advanced level, his gun shooting speed is several times faster than before. So, facing this lightning-like shot, with a puff, this first-level lower-level arm-knife tiger had no time to react, and a bull-sized hole appeared in its abdomen. The hole was very deep, piercing the thick hair and skin, and even through the overflowing blood, the wriggling internal organs could be seen. Awu. Ordinary creatures, suffering such a heavy blow, must have lost their ability to move. However, the arm-knife tiger only wailed in pain, and then it seemed to be aroused by its ferocity and pounced on it madly. As expected of a first-level beast, it has strong vitality. Without using his superpowers, Xu Jingming did not expect that this attack could kill it instantly. So he picked up the black jade spear and fought with the arm-knife tiger. With the help of advanced spear skills, Xu Jingming wielded the black jade spear like a dragon. Every time he fired a gun, he could make a hole in the arm-knife tiger. Due to its length, the arm-knife tiger had no way to cause effective attack damage to Xu Jingming. Just like that, in less than a minute. This first-level beast arm-knife tiger, which was enough to kill 99% of the candidates in the examination room, was killed by Xu Jingming. Xu Jingming himself was not injured at all, and even his battle clothes were not stained with a drop of blood. This is the trick of the spear. If you are not strong enough, you can only be stabbed to death, but you can't even touch the corner of your opponent's clothes. Kill a first-level arm-knife tiger, superpower points plus 10. Along with the death of the arm-knife tiger, the system prompt sound also sounded. The power points gained by killing a first-level beast are almost twice as much as those gained by killing a non-level beast. Xu Jingming's eyes lit up. In this way, I must hurry up to kill beasts and harvest power points. Putting the black jade gun behind him, without stopping for a moment, Xu Jingming rushed towards the direction where the roars of beasts were the most frequent. According to the strength of beasts, the ruins town is divided into 4 areas: the periphery, the middle, the core, and the core area. Most candidates are only strong enough to move in the periphery. Only a few candidates dare to enter the middle area. In the core area, even the candidates from Jiangqing's first high school rocket class need to hesitate. As for the core area where the second-level ferocious beasts exist, almost no one in the entire Jiang city can go there. That is a place where only geniuses from provincial capital cities dare to set foot. Xu Jingming, who possesses the S-level Purple Sky Divine Thunder, naturally has this qualification. However, due to the limited battery life of his powers, Xu Jingming planned to stay in the central area first, wait until the last 2 hours before entering the core area. Of course, the real wilderness area does not have such strength divisions as peripheral and central areas. It is very possible that while walking in the wilderness area, a high-level ferocious beast will appear and eat you, and Xu Jingming also knew that this was the only opportunity he had access to at the moment to obtain a large number of power points. So, after killing the armed saber tiger, he began to look for the beast. After finding the ferocious beast, Xu Jingming didn't even need to use his powers. He could just rely on his strong physique and advanced marksmanship to kill it. Find the beast. Kill. Get power points. Find the beast. Kill. Gain power points. During the entire process of killing ferocious beasts to gain ability points, he also discovered a pattern. That is, the acquisition of power points is more closely related to the strength of the beast. For example, 2 ferocious beasts, the shadow cat and a one-horned rhinoceros, at the same level. A one-horned rhinoceros can deal with 3 or 4 shadow cats at the same time. It is precisely because of this, the ability points obtained by killing a peak level 1-horned rhinoceros are even the same as killing a first level low-level shadow cat. However, this rule does not have much impact on the current Xu Jingming. Anyway, just kill him and it will be over. In this way, Xu Jingming never stopped for a moment. He was either fighting the beast or looking for it. As more and more ferocious beasts were killed, the power points on the system panel soared, and his martial arts college entrance examination scores also skyrocketed. What Xu Jingming didn't know was what kind of sensation such a scene had caused in the outside world. Chapter 13. Which class is Xu Jingming in? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The martial arts college entrance examination will last for 12 hours. During this process, the principals of each school and the head teachers of each class will be present throughout the process. After all, the director of the Education Bureau is here, and they cannot leave midway. In addition, the results of the Wushu College entrance examination will be used as the standard for the distribution of education funds for each school in the second half of the year. Principals and teachers are also very concerned about the students' results. Of course, since the exam time is too long, the military region will still provide lunch and dinner to the principal and teachers. Now more than 4 hours have passed since the start of the martial arts college entrance examination, and the time has come to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. At this time, most of the candidates in the examination room have started to eat their first energy bar, outside the examination room. The principals and teachers of each school also finished their lunch in the military canteen and walked towards the auditorium. Number 1 middle school is still as strong as ever. Almost all of the top 10 are from them. Number 1 middle school receives the most education funds every year and has the best student population in Jiangcheng. It is not surprising that it has this result. That's true. Speaking of which, our number 2 middle school is actually pretty good this year. 8 people have reached the top 50. In previous years, it would have been good to have 5 or 6. It's a pity that this year's number 3 middle school has become even more powerful and has jumped directly into the top 10, putting us in an embarrassing situation. In the team of teachers at Jiangcheng number 2 high school, everyone was talking to each other as they walked. They are not surprised that number 1 middle school has a strong educational background and occupies the top ranking. During the conversation, the discussion was about this school and the other third high school. By the way, teacher son, what's going on with Xu Jingming in your class? Why didn't you know there was such a character in your class before? Suddenly, someone mentioned Xu Jingming and looked at a middle-aged man in a black suit among the crowd. His name is Sun Yang, and he is the head teacher of the rocket class of number 2 middle school. Xu Jingming is not from our class. I was just about to ask you which class he is from. Sun Yang, the head teacher of rocket class, looked confused. Xu Jingming is not from your class. But besides the students from the rocket class, who else can be so fierce? The teachers around him were also slightly stunned and asked which class Xu Jingming was in. After all, every middle school will reclassify students after their abilities awaken, and students with potential and strength will be placed in the rocket class. Number 2 middle school is no exception. It is precisely because of this that those who get good results in the martial arts college entrance examination are basically students from the rocket class, and it is difficult for students from parallel classes to appear. Old Chen, how are your class scores? Behind the team, a middle-aged man with a beard approached Chen Fan, the head teacher of class 5, and before he could reply, he said, "Our class is not bad, and the students with the best grades have already reached the top 100. The best students in number 2 middle school are all concentrated in the rocket class, which also means that students in other parallel classes can be regarded as outstanding if they can break into the top 100. Yo, that's pretty good." This middle-aged man is Li Jun, the head teacher of class 4 next door. A few years ago, the two had a conflict over some things, and their relationship was not very good. In the following years, Li Jun also opposed him openly and covertly, and the two were considered mortal enemies. Good. Seeing the dull reaction of his old rival Chen Fan, Li Jun couldn't help but show a hint of pride on his face. It's just that this year's college entrance examination bonus, I'm afraid I will be a little bit more than you. In order to supervise the academic style, the bonuses of their class teachers are directly linked to the scores of the candidates for the martial arts college entrance examination. There is a student in the top 100 in Jiangqing's class, and the bonus he can get at the end of the college entrance examination is at least 10,000 yuan. In this small city where the monthly salary of the head teacher is less than 6,000 yuan, a bonus of 10,000 yuan is already very good. Lao Chen pretends to be calm on the surface, but at this time, he is probably jealous to death in his heart, right? Just when Li Jun was feeling happy, Chen Fan's voice sounded again. Really? Then you will be disappointed. The results of our class are not bad, and some people have reached the top 50. Top 50? Old Chen, are you kidding me? Those are all from the rockets class. How could someone from your class rush into such a high ranking? Li Jun retorted subconsciously, with a disdainful expression. Etc. However, he quickly reacted, his eyes widened, and he exclaimed, "Is that Xu Jingming from your class?" Compared to Li Jun's shock, Chen Fan's reaction was much calmer, and he just nodded lightly. Xu Jingming is in your class. So they were asking about Xu Jingming's class just now. Why didn't you answer? Li Jun still couldn't believe it. Really? Maybe I didn't hear it. Chen Fan pretended to be confused and replied, "Damn. What do you mean you didn't hear it? You did it on purpose. Good guy, it turns out that you have been waiting for me here." Seeing Chen Fan pretending to be calm, Li Jun really wanted to punch him in the face. However, the other person's next words almost made him so angry that he almost vomited blood. What do you mean by just being in the top 50? The bonus for the first 50 is more than 20,000. And can you, a parallel class, compare with the rockets class, which is a collection of elites from all over the school? Li Jun's heart roared crazily. Over the years, he has trained the best students, but he only got 64th place in the martial arts college entrance examination. It seems that teacher Chen has trained an amazing student. Li Jun took several deep breaths before he managed to calm down and congratulated him sourly. It's okay, all of this is Jingming's own effort and has nothing to do with me. Seeing that his old enemy was so angry, although Chen Fan remained humble on the outside, he was already happy in his heart. You like to show off, are you deflated this time? In the past, Li Jun always suppressed him, but this time he finally got it back. When he thought of this, Chen Fan felt secretly happy. Xu Jingming turned out to be in class 5. Teacher Chen Fan is a good educator. There are so many parallel classes, but only the students in your class have broken into the top 50. Waiting for the second half of the year, we can ask teacher Chen to give a lecture to talk about his teaching experience. When they learned that Xu Jingming was a student in class 5, all the teachers around him congratulated him. Even Sun Yang, the head teacher of rocket class, showed a friendly smile to Chen Fan. The eugenics had long been picked up by the rocket class. To be able to cultivate such a student in the parallel class shows that Chen Fan's teaching level is indeed good. A group of teachers chatted and laughed and soon returned to the audience again. After Chen Fan, the head teacher of class 5, sat down, he immediately looked at the virtual screen in mid-air, looking for Xu Jingming's ranking. Soon, he found Xu Jingming's name among the rankings. 32 end place, Xu Jingming, 328 points. Jiangqing Second High School. Number 32. Seeing this ranking, class teacher Chen Fan was immediately stunned. Wasn't it still number 46 just now? How come after a meal, the ranking has risen by more than 10 places? Just when he was confused, Xu Jingming's name suddenly jumped up, and when it appeared again, it was already in another ranking. 25th place, Xu Jingming, 372 points. Jiangqing Second High School. This. Chen Fan's eyes widened with shock. What's going on? Why did Xu Jingming's ranking rise so much all of a sudden? Chapter 14 Top 10. The gun comes out like a dragon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are more than 1,400 candidates taking the Jiangqing Martial Arts College entrance examination, and it is normal for the rankings to change from time to time. but a sudden increase of more than 10 rankings, or a sudden decrease of more than 10 rankings, often only occurs in the lower ranking range. These people are about the same strength. Once their scores change slightly, their rankings will fluctuate by more than a dozen. The candidates who can enter the top 50 are very strong, and the score gap between them is also relatively large. Even if there is a ranking change, it will only be 1 or 2 places at most. It is very rare to rise more than 10 rankings at once like this. As a result, not only Chen Fan noticed this scene, but other teachers in number 2 middle school also noticed this situation and started talking about it one after another. Hey, Xu Jingming's ranking has risen, reaching 25th place. I'm going. Number 25. Real or fake? We just went to have a meal and came back. Why did the ranking change so exaggeratedly? Is he really from the parallel class? Isn't he too aggressive? Not at this time. On the ranking list of Jiangqing Martial Arts College entrance examination, a total of 9 people from second high school entered the top 50, in addition to the 18th and 22nd places in the front. The highest ranking person in the second high school is Xu Jingming, who is ranked 25th. The ranking jumped directly from 32nd to 25th, and the score also jumped from 328 points to 372 points. In front of the auditorium, Zhao Yao, the principal of number 2 middle school, narrowed his eyes slightly. As a spiritual sea-level psychic, even though he is only at the first level, he can still keep all the ranking information on the ranking list in mind. Among them, the information about the second high school candidates was of particular concern to him. The changes in Xu Jingming's score ranking are naturally very clear, but even so, he still felt incredible. According to the score calculation method of the martial arts college entrance examination, killing a peak-level ferocious beast can earn 6 to 8 points, killing a first-level low-level ferocious beast can earn 14 to 16 points. The smartwatch's kill count statistics interval is about 4 seconds. Xu Jingming scored 44 points in one breath, which meant that he killed 5 peak non-level beasts, or 3 first-level low-level beasts in just 4 seconds, but no matter which one it is enough to illustrate Xu Jingming's strong strength. Even if this strength is not as good as the first-tier teams like Zhou, Mingyang and others, it is definitely among the top 10. When did such a fierce student appear in our school? Principal Zhao Yao was a little confused. According to the regulations of Daxia Kingdom, the principals of all middle schools across the country, as well as the directors and deputy directors of the education bureaus of each city, must be first level or above superpowers. Although Principal Zhao Yao could not see Xu Jingming's battle scene, he could guess Xu Jingming's approximate strength just by relying on the instantaneous ranking changes. Principal Zhao, it seems that your school still has good students. This Xu Jingming should have not exerted his strength before, but now that he exerts his strength, his ranking immediately rises. Zhang Wenshan, director of the Education Bureau, nodded slightly. This student of Principal Zhao is almost among the top 10 in strength. Lu Hang, the principal of number 1 high school, also added. By the way, what kind of supernatural power did your student awaken? Why haven't you heard of it before? Zhang Wenshan was a little confused. Candidates with such strength should not remain unknown. To be honest, this student Xu Jingming suddenly broke out during the college entrance examination today. I have to ask his class teacher for relevant information about him. Teacher Chen, come here. Facing the inquiry from Director Zhang Wenshan, Zhao Yao directly called the head teacher Chen Fan over. So, under the envious eyes of all the teachers in number 2 middle school, Chen Fan sat next to the principal. For Chen Fan, an ordinary class teacher, the director of the education bureau and the principals, who are superhuman beings, are absolute bosses. So facing the gazes of several people, his expression was naturally a little restrained. Principal, director, as far as I know, Xu Jingming only awakened the E-level power, weak electricity. E-level superpower. Principal Zhao Yao frowned. Teacher Chen, did you remember correctly? Principal, I remember correctly. Before the college entrance examination, I specifically reminded him not to take the martial arts college entrance examination. Chen Fan said with a wry smile. In fact, as the class teacher, he also had some doubts as to whether the registration of the awakened power back then was a mistake. It's just an E-level ability that can reach this point. It seems that Xu Jingming should be outstanding in other aspects. Director Zhang Wenshan said thoughtfully, it's a pity that he didn't make the top 10, so we haven't seen his battle scenes yet. The live broadcast system of the Wuke College entrance examination runs according to the program customized by the province, and even he cannot interfere. Just wait. With his strength, he should be able to break into the top 10 soon. Although Xu Jingming's situation is a bit special, as the director of the Education Bureau, he still has some patience. Then we can only wait. Zhao Yao, the principal of No. 2 Middle School, also nodded, and at the same time stopped Chen Fan, who wanted to return to his seat. Besides, Teacher Chen, please sit here. Chen Fan looked happy when he heard this, but not all teachers had the opportunity to be so close to the directors and principals. Time passes slowly, and the rankings of the martial arts college entrance examination are changing all the time. Among these rankings, there is one name that is constantly rising in the rankings: number 25, Xu Jingming; number 21, Xu Jingming; number 16, Xu Jingming; number 12, Xu Jingming; number 9, Xu Jingming. Less than an hour passed, and Xu Jingming's ranking broke into the top 10. Xu Jingming did it. He really entered the top 10, that the head teacher Chen Fan looked excited. He was just the head teacher of a parallel class, but he never dreamed that a student in his class would be among the top 10 in Jiangcheng. It's in the top 10, Zhao Yao, the principal of No. 2 Middle School, also breathed a sigh of relief. Otherwise, he would not look good as the principal if he was always outclassed by No. 3 Middle School. Now we can finally see why Xu Jingming entered the top 10. Zhang Wenshan, director of the Education Bureau, looked into the air expectantly. After waiting for a while, the virtual projection screen belonging to the 9th place flashed. Instead, there was a slightly tall young figure. The young man was wearing a black uniform, with a resolute face and firm eyes. He held a black spear about 2 meters long in his hand. The tip of the spear was sharp, and the bright red blood stained on it added a touch of ferocity to it. At the young man's feet, there were still several beasts that had lost their breath. Not far away, there was a ferocious beast that cowered and did not dare to step forward. Black clothes, spears, ferocious beasts, the various elements of the entire picture are composed together, and a sharp and powerful aura spreads over it. Next moment, the young man moved, and the gun came out. Like a dragon, just for a moment, the remaining beast didn't even have time to react before he was shot to death with a spear. Chapter 15. Unfortunately, the strength has been improved again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hiss, this shot is so fast. What a quick shot, like a bolt of lightning. The shooting speed is comparable to that of a person with awakened wind powers. But isn't he a person with awakened thunder powers? Many teachers in the audience were shocked when they saw the black figure on the projection screen that killed the shadow cat beast instantly like lightning. Quick. Allow. Ruthless. This was their first impression of Xu Jingming. Chen Fan, the head teacher of Class 5, even stared, because the school arranges actual combat classes. He basically knows the combat prowess of most students in the class. But in practical classes, Xu Jingming's level can only be said to be unsatisfactory, and it is impossible to reach this level. What a good guy, you actually managed to hide it from me for so long. With this kind of marksmanship, wouldn't it be better to use it as soon as possible? You have to wait until you become famous in the college entrance examination. But with this kind of marksmanship, even if you only have E-level powers, you can indeed get good results in the college entrance examination. Chen Fan nodded slightly. It seems like it would have been redundant to advise him not to take the martial arts college entrance examination. A strong physique and powerful marksmanship. Zhao Yao, the principal of No. 2 Middle School, let out a long breath, then shook his head. What a pity. Yeah, what a shame. Director of the Education Bureau Zhang Wenshan was also a little disappointed. A strong physique and weapon-using skills were indeed very good advantages during the awaken period, but later on, as the level gets higher and higher, the advantages brought by physical fitness and skills will gradually become smaller. After all, superpowers. The most important thing is to rely on superpowers to fight. As long as he has a C-level superpower, coupled with this kind of physique and marksmanship, the #1 spot in Jiangqing will definitely be his. It's a pity that he only has E-level powers. Zhang Wenshan couldn't help but feel regretful again, compared to the regrets expressed by the principal and the director of education. Chen Fan, the head teacher of class 5, was quite open-minded. If you can stay in the top 10 in Jiangqing until the end of the college entrance examination, you will definitely be able to go to a good university for people with special abilities, of course. Even if Xu Jingming no longer kills ferocious beasts and ends the college entrance examination with such results, he can still go to the university for superpowers, but it won't be that good, and this kind of result, compared with the result that he expected to fail or even die, is already many times better. In the ruined town, Xu Jingming, who had just killed a shadow cat, felt very happy when he heard the notification sound in his head. There were more ferocious beasts in the central area of the ruined town than he imagined. He had just been here for more than an hour and had already killed more than 20 first-level lower-level beasts, and more than a dozen peak-level lower-level beasts, and the power points accumulated on his system panel have reached 312 points. Yes, it is indeed more efficient to kill ferocious beasts in the central area. Xu Jingming nodded with satisfaction, and then heard the hum of the propeller spinning at high speed. A drone flew from a distance and hovered dozens of meters above his head. Tracking camera drone. I'm already in the top 10. Xu Jingming turned on his smartwatch and checked his ranking. 9th place, Xu Jingming, 607 points. Jiangqing Second High School. Sure enough, it's already in the top 10. A smile appeared on Xu Jingming's face. The emergence of camera drones means that the entire process of his battle will be known to the outside world. Even if he subsequently uses his superpower, his S-level Purple Sky Divine Thunder will also be exposed. After all, the S-level Purple Sky Thunder he summoned now is too extraordinary to be disguised as an E-level weak electric power. Of course, Xu Jingming didn't want to hide it. The martial arts college entrance examination is designed to test the candidate's strength and potential. The better the scores in the martial arts college entrance examination, the more choices they will have. Only a fool would give up getting more points just to hide his abilities. Xu Jingming's eyes narrowed and he opened his system information panel. Name, Xu Jingming, level, awakener, superpower, Purple Sky Divine Thunder, S. Physique, 141 Qi and Blood, plus. Skills, marksmanship, advanced, lightning blast, beginner plus. Power points, 312. You already have more than 300 power points, but you still can't level up. Xu Jingming frowned when he couldn't find the plus sign behind the level. When this happens, there are only two possibilities. The first possibility is that the transformation from an awakened person to a superpower requires too many power points, and even 300 power points are not enough. The second possibility is that there are certain conditions for changing from an awakened person to a superpower. Before these conditions are met, even the system cannot directly upgrade the level. To transform from an awakened person to a person with superpowers, you need to learn the method of cultivating superpowers first. It seems that because I haven't learned the superpower training method yet, I can't level up yet. Xu Jingming secretly guessed, the method of cultivating superpowers is the basic condition for an awakened person to advance into a superpower person. However, even the worst superpower training methods cost more than 1 million yuan. With Xu Jingming's net worth, it is natural that he would not be able to purchase a copy. He originally thought that there was a system that could bypass this basic condition, but now it seems that he was wrong. But with my current fighting ability, it's no worse than a real superpower. Then wait until you finish the college entrance examination, enter the university for superpowers, learn the superpower training method, and then become a superpower. Xu Jingming didn't think much about it. The most important thing now was, how to use these more than 300 power points. Currently, the only things that can be improved are basic attributes and combat skills. Combat skills are not used yet, so just improve the basic attributes. After thinking for a moment, Xu Jingming directly allocated all the power points to the two basic attributes. The physical score was 200 points, and the mental score was 112 points. Physique, 141 181 Qi and Blood, Spirit, 160 182 Hz. Xu Jingming, whose basic attributes had been improved, suddenly felt strength emerging from his body. and his consciousness was clearer than ever before. All the fatigue accumulated from rushing and fighting continuously was wiped away at this moment. Cool. Xu Jingming laughed loudly and used the black gun to dance a beautiful gun flower. The speed and strength of the gun are much stronger than before. With this kind of physique, coupled with my advanced marksmanship, even if it is a first-level mid-range ferocious beast in the core area, I can easily kill it without using my powers. At this moment, Xu Jingming was extremely confident in his own strength. The ferocious beasts in the core area are stronger and more numerous. Now that my strength has been improved again, I don't need to stay in the central area and go directly to the core area. The spear shook, and due to its inertia, the bright red blood stained on it was knocked off cleanly. Then, Xu Jingming, who put his spear on his back and looked at the map location, rushed toward the core area, with his strengthened physique. At this moment, his running speed was even faster than that of Zhou Mingyang, who had been blessed with wind powers. And behind him, the photography drone followed closely like a follower. Chapter 16 Reactions from all parties, a herd of ferocious beasts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ruin Town, central area. As the throat was cut by the sharp dagger, blood rushed out, and the first-level low-level shadow cat collapsed. Behind him, Tang Chi's slim figure holding a dagger slowly emerged. I saw that she was covered with a purple-black cat-shaped energy veil, and a pair of cat ears on her head. She didn't deliberately control it, but she looked very agile, strengthening B-level ability, Shadow Cat. During activation, it can greatly increase her running speed, reaction speed, and attack power. It is precisely because of this B-level ability that she, as an awakened person, can kill first-level ferocious beasts. Of course, she is also a person who has practiced the method of cultivating supernatural powers, although there is still some gap between transforming into a superpower. But the basic physical fitness is there. It will not be too bad. However, killing a low-level beast is the limit of her strength. It is precisely because of this that she only dares to wander around the central area, and does not dare to go to the core area where the first-order mid-level ferocious beasts are entrenched. In order to save power, Tang Chi exited the shadow cat form as soon as he killed the ferocious beast. The cat-shaped energy gauze lingering around the body disappeared, and the pair of cat-shaped vertical pupils also degenerated into their original shape. 12th place, Tang Chi, 567 points, Jiangqing No. 1 High School. Tang Chi turned on her smart watch and frowned when she saw her ranking. The ranking dropped 1 place. She subconsciously looked up to see who had pushed her down in the rankings. However, I didn't expect to see a familiar name in the 9th place. Xu Jingming from the 2nd High School, 607 points, 9th place. Tang Chi was slightly startled, and it took him a long time to come back to his senses. The tall figure with a spear on his back appeared in his mind. Sure enough, it was you who caused that blow yesterday, cousin Jingming. She was not without suspicion that the name in the ranking had the same name as her cousin, but they are both in No. 2 High School, and they still have the same name. How can there be such a coincidence in the world? Coupled with the suspicion that arose at the Thunder Martial Arts School yesterday, she was even more convinced that Xu Jingming in the ranking was her cousin. But how do you do all this with only E-level powers? That a hint of curiosity flashed across Tang Chi's pretty face. It seems that my cousin is not as honest as he seems. Damn it, is a Ming so fierce? If I had known earlier, I should have called him daddy and hugged his thigh. In the outer area of the ruined town, Lu Jie, who had doubled in size, looked at Xu Jingming's ranking on the virtual projection and felt regretful. Xu Jingming is in the top 10. Too fierce. In our second middle school, he is the highest ranked now. Lin Qingyuan's team has been paying attention to Xu Jingming since they discovered Xu Jingming's 46th ranking. At this time, everyone was filled with emotion when they saw Xu Jingming entering the top 10. How did this guy do it? Xu Jingming is in the top 10, and we have to work hard to get into the top 300. Looking at the ranking list, Lin Qingyuan's pretty face was filled with emotion. Although I don't know how Xu Jingming did it, they are different from Xu Jingming. I am very satisfied if I can enter the top 300. When Xu Jingming's ranking had not yet entered the top 10, his ranking was not conspicuous. But when he entered the top 10, almost everyone in the examination room noticed him. Some people who knew Xu Jingming had different reactions, but he didn't know all this. At this time, He was rushing towards the core area with all his strength. After his physical strength was strengthened, Xu Jingming's running speed was much faster than before. In addition, his position in the central area is not too far from the core area, so, in just over 30 minutes, Xu Jingming stepped into the core area on the map. The core area of the ruined town was originally the most prosperous city center of Weiyuan town. Compared with the central area, the buildings here are taller, and the exquisiteness of the past can be vaguely seen from the dilapidated decoration on the building surface. What's more important is that the level of ferocious beasts in the core area ranges from the lower level of the first level to the middle level of the first level, and there are no lower level ferocious beasts. Of course, he is an exception. While on the road, he did not specifically look for the ferocious beasts, which also resulted in him only killing 4 or 5 ferocious beasts in more than 30 minutes. The ranking did not advance but retreated, dropping to 10th place. As long as I can find a large group of ferocious beasts, my ranking will soon rise again. This time, I will get the first place in one go. Xu Jingming's eyes narrowed, and he followed the same strategy as before. He would go wherever the roars of ferocious beasts were the loudest. Roar. Ouch! In the dilapidated city, the roars of ferocious beasts come and go. This is a paradise for ferocious beasts. Xu Jingming listened carefully, and finally chose the southeast where the roars of the ferocious beasts were the most powerful and densest, and galloped away. Most candidates move cautiously within the examination center, fearing that making too much noise will attract the attention of ferocious beasts and lead to them being besieged. However, Xu Jingming was like a vigorous cheetah, rushing through the city. The 50-kilogram black gun carried behind him did not hinder his actions at all. Xu Jingming ran on the dilapidated road, with the wind whistling in his ears, and the scenery on both sides passing by quickly. 1 or 2 ferocious beasts could vaguely be seen active among the ruins. He didn't even have the desire to take action against such sporadic ferocious beasts. Soon, the source of the intensive roars came closer and closer, and a rusty and dilapidated bus stood at the end of the road. However, Xu Jingming's speed did not slow down at all. It was not until he was about to hit the bus that he exerted force on his legs and jumped 5 or 6 meters high. Bang! Xu Jingming stepped on the roof of the bus with his combat boots and looked down, taking in an unobstructed view of the scene below. This is a fitness square. In addition to various broken fitness equipment, there are also vicious beasts inhabiting the square. There were so many ferocious beasts that in addition to the smell of blood, there was also a smell unique to animals in the air, which made Xu Jingming frown slightly. 1, 2, 3, there are 10 ferocious beasts here, and they are all armed saber tigers. It seems that I have encountered a group of armed saber tiger ferocious beasts. Ferocious beasts are divided into gregarious and solitary types, and the Brachiosaurus belongs to the gregarious type of ferocious beast. Ordinary candidates would just walk around when encountering such a group of ferocious beasts. However, Xu Jingming's cold black and white eyes were filled with burning fighting spirit. This is exactly what he wants. If you want the armed saber tiger to achieve the effect of living in groups, you must have a king with the strength to suppress everything. Xu Jingming looked at the center of the fitness square, where there was a half-eaten, bloody corpse of a one-horned rhinoceros. Next to the corpse, there was an armed saber tiger king that was obviously larger than other armed saber tigers. Its limbs are extremely thick, and the bone knives on its forelimbs are even bigger and sharper. The first-level middle-ranked armed saber tiger seems to be the king of this group of ferocious beasts. Xu Jingming raised the corners of his mouth slightly. If he kills all these ferocious beasts, he can gain a lot of power points. Chapter 17 Aesthetics of Violence, Domineering Marksmanship. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xu Jingming is 1.86 meters tall and standing on the roof of the bus. As soon as he appeared, he attracted the attention of the sword-armed tigers in the square, except for the armed saber tiger king in the middle who was still lying lazily on the spot. The other 9 resting armed saber tigers all got up at the same time. With a fierce look in his eyes, he walked towards the bus. Their speed is not fast, but the pressure caused by the gathering of 9 huge car-like armed sword tigers is extremely terrifying. It is precisely because of this that groups of ferocious beasts have always been very difficult to deal with. It can be said that this 9-headed armed sword tiger, even a first-order high-level ferocious beast, would not dare to be easily provoked. However, Xu Jingming was not afraid at all when facing the nine-headed armed sword tiger that was walking towards him at the same time, jumped off the roof of the bus and landed on the ground with a bang. Roar! With a low roar, the nine-headed armed sword tiger that was moving forward slowly dispersed in a very humane manner, then, they charged at Xu Jingming in different directions. As expected of a group of ferocious beasts led by ferocious beasts, they actually learned a simple formation. With a backhand grip, Xu Jingming was already holding the Black Glory spear. The bus was only less than 30 meters away from the square, which was not worth mentioning to these low-ranking first-level armed sword tigers, so, in the blink of an eye, the nine-headed armed sword tiger rushed to a position less than 5 meters in front of Xu Jingming, but these armed sword tigers did not rush forward in one fell swoop. Instead, 5 armed sword tigers took the lead in charging and pounced in a flying posture. 5 huge armed sword tigers crowded together and blocked Xu Jingming's forward direction in all directions. And behind him was an abandoned bus, and he couldn't move back. In other words, Xu Jingming has no way to escape at this moment. Faced with this situation, Xu Jingming's eyes remained firm, and at the same time, the 2-meter-1 black spear was danced by him like a big windmill. The dancing black gun turned into a black phantom, like a propeller rotating at high speed. This moment, the armed sabers realized something was wrong, but it was already too late. The 5-headed armed sword tiger collided with the high-speed rotating black gun without any precaution. The sharp tip of the black brilliance gun was like a meat grinder, directly cutting the head of the 5-armed sword tiger and bleeding. Then, under the powerful impact, he fell down. Although the head was severely injured, the 5-headed sword tiger did not die. It was lying on the ground, obviously still breathing. Pure physical strength is still a bit lacking. This big windmill move was wielded solely by his physical strength and was not a combat skill. If this move was a combat technique that combined physical strength and superpowers, these 5 ferocious beasts would have been instantly killed in that instant. But it's okay, I just need to make up for it. Xu Jingming charged again, and the remaining 4-armed sword tiger tried to block Xu Jingming's footsteps, but they were all bypassed by Xu Jingming's agile footwork. Then, like the scythe of death, the Black Glory spear took away the lives of 5 seriously injured armed saber tigers one after another. Roar! At this time, the first-level middle-ranked armed sword tiger king who had been lying in the center finally realized that something was wrong, got up and walked to the remaining 4-headed armed sword tiger. Just in time, I'll solve it for you all together. With a bang, the Black Glory spear was pulled out from the body of the armed saber tiger. Xu Jingming held a spear in his hand and faced the 5-headed and armed sword tiger alone. There was no fear in his clear eyes, but endless coldness and murderous intent. Roar! I don't know whether it was because there were too many casualties among its companions, or because Xu Jingming's unyielding eyes irritated it. The armed saber tiger king roared, and then charged with the remaining 4 armed saber tigers. Xu Jingming held a spear and charged head-on, fighting with the 5-headed and armed sword tiger. Although the armed saber tiger is a ferocious beast, it also possesses a certain amount of wisdom. In particular, this group of armed sword tigers have cooperated many times, and they have killed many powerful beasts together. If such a 5-headed sword tiger were placed in a city, it would be enough to destroy a squad of hundreds of elite soldiers. However, Xu Jingming turned into a black phantom and shuttled through the gaps between the armed sword tigers. The armed saber tiger could not cause any actual harm to Xu Jingming. But every time Xu Jingming fired his gun, he aimed directly at the vital point. The armed sword tiger was either killed instantly or seriously injured by the stabbing, so, in less than 2 minutes, all the armed sword tigers fell under his spear. The first-level mid-level ferocious beast is nothing more than this. It can't even force me to use its superpowers. Although his physique has improved with the help of the system, he actually doesn't know how strong his combat power is. He dared to attack the ferocious beasts of the armed saber tiger like this because he had the support of the purple sky divine thunder. It's a pity that these ferocious beasts don't even have the strength for him to use his powers. Xu Jingming then looked at the system panel. This wave alone allowed him to gain a full 106 power points. What a great harvest! Xu Jingming looked happy. If he continues at this pace, he doesn't know how many power points he can accumulate by the time the martial arts college entrance examination is over. It's useless to think too much now. It's better to harvest the power points and hurry up to the next location. After wiping the blood on the spear, Xu Jingming put it on his back again and hurried to the next location. On the day of the college entrance examination, all middle schools in Jiangqing will organize students in the first and second grades of high school to watch the live broadcast of the college entrance examination in martial arts. On the one hand, it is to make these students realize the blood and cruelty of the martial arts college entrance examination. On the other hand, we also want students to become familiar with the habits of ferocious beasts in advance. At this time, the playground of Jiangqing No. 2 High School, in mid-air, there is a virtual projection similar to the military zone. In the surrounding auditorium, all the first and second grade students in high school have been watching the live broadcast for a while. In previous years, the top 10 in Jiangqing were all candidates from No. 1 High School. Therefore, the candidates they talk about the most are candidates from other schools, but this year is different. Their school also has candidates who have entered the top 10. Xu Jingming. When Xu Jingming burst onto the big screen with 9th place, the entire teachers and students of No. 2 High School were excited. Especially the scene where the shadow cat was shot to death made the students excited. Although I have never heard of Senior Xu's name before, from now on, he is my idol. The senior is tall and strong, and he is simply too handsome. Unlike the bureau chiefs and principals in the military region who side toward Xu Jingming, the students who saw Xu Jingming break into the top 10 were sincerely happy and excited for him. Many people even regard him as a benchmark and role model. However, because Xu Jingming was in a hurry for more than half an hour, he rarely took action. This made the students feel disappointed, especially after Xu Jingming's ranking dropped to 10th. Some students became even more anxious. I wish I could transform into Xu Jingming, kill everyone and regain my ranking. Hey, it seems that our second high school is still not good. It took a lot of effort to produce a senior who broke into the top 10, but it turned out that he was unable to succeed. Although I hate to admit it, Senior Xu is indeed exhausted. Forget it, I'll just look at the first place Qingfeng sword Zhou Mingyang. The greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. The second high school finally produced a candidate who broke into the top 10, so they naturally hoped that the other party would achieve a better ranking. However, Xu Jingming's performance caused some bad remarks to be made sporadically in the audience. A large number of students began to rewatch the live broadcasts of other celebrity candidates. Look, Senior Xu has found a vicious beast. Suddenly, a voice from nowhere turned everyone's attention back to Xu Jingming's live broadcast. In the picture, Xu Jingming was standing on the roof of the bus, and below, there was a huge tiger-armed beast. It's over, Senior has encountered a group of ferocious beasts. The ferocious beasts of the armed saber tiger are finished. Why don't you leave, Senior? If you don't leave, it will really be over. It's over. The armed saber tiger has surrounded him and he can't leave. Senior, you haven't activated the safety ball yet. This situation is very dangerous. Although Xu Jingming's performance just now made the students a little disappointed, he is a senior in his own school after all. Therefore, when he encountered a group of ferocious beasts, all the students couldn't help but worry, and when the five-headed and armed sword tiger flew toward Xu Jingming who had not activated the safety ball, some girls were so frightened that they covered their eyes. However, the imagined scene of being devoured by a ferocious beast did not appear. Instead, Xu Jingming waved the black glory spear and knocked away the five-headed sword tiger with an invincible attitude. What the hell? So fierce. At this moment, everyone in the audience's heart skipped a beat. A spear can still be used like this? This power is outrageous. If an ordinary person were to wield a spear like this, not only would they not be able to injure the armed saber tiger, but they would be directly pinned to death by that huge body. It seems that what this Senior Xu should awaken is the ability to strengthen the body, otherwise he would not be able to achieve this level. In just a short moment, all the students' previous dissatisfaction with Xu Jingming completely disappeared. And next, Xu Jingming transformed into a black phantom, holding a black gun. As fast as lightning, he shuttled among the five-headed armed sword tigers, constantly charging in and killing them. His black spear also became extremely bright red due to being stained with too much blood of ferocious beasts. No one felt uncomfortable with such a scene, but it made people enjoy it. It feels so violent, but I like it. It's great. This feeling is much more enjoyable than looking at the fluttering light wind sword. The gun hits the flesh, what a domineering shooting technique. Everyone agrees that ferocious beasts are the enemies of mankind, therefore, when the armed sword tiger was slaughtered one-sidedly, no one felt pity, but instead felt extremely happy, especially the slender and tall figure that shuttles through it. Every time he draws a gun, there is a special sense of violence. This kind of violence does not appear bloody, but is full of beauty. It made the blood of these 16 or 17-year-old boys and girls in their youth boil with excitement, and their faces turned red. Chapter 18 Excited Teachers, First Place. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feel good. It's great. It's so refreshing. As expected of Senior Xu, he is so awesome. Good guy, it makes my blood boil. I want to get a spear myself and try it out. With the fall of the arm-blade Tiger King, the students in the audience were like gourmets after a good meal, making their own comments with satisfaction. At this time, Xu Jingming's screen suddenly jumped to the 6th place, 6th place, Xu Jingming, 796 points, Jiangqing No. 2 High School. Here, what's going on? Why did the seniors' ranking jump to 6th place? The seniors' score just now was only 634 points, why did it suddenly increase by almost 160 points? Even if there are 4 or 5 first-level ferocious beasts here, you won't be able to get such a high score in one go, right? For a moment, everyone was a little confused. This extra point was too much. Holy shit. I just realized that the senior is no longer in the central area, but has entered the core area. That the exclamation coming from nowhere made everyone subconsciously check the map on the virtual screen. Sure enough, Xu Jingming's area was already in the red core area. I just said that I feel that the size of these armsword tigers is not right. It turns out that they are not peak-level beasts, but first-level ferocious beasts. So, all the seniors killed were first-order ferocious beasts. Awesome. Killing a first-level ferocious beast is like chopping melons and vegetables. Originally, all the students thought that Xu Jingming was still in the central area, and these ferocious beasts were only at the peak in first level. However, what he didn't expect was that Xu Jingming had entered the dangerous core area. Just now we were fighting the beasts at the lower level of the first level and the middle level at the first level. In fact, it's no wonder that they didn't notice it immediately. The battle was too intense. At the same time, they finally understood why Xu Jingming didn't take action just now. It turned out that he was rushing to the core area. Even the top-ranked Qinfeng swordsman Zhou Mingyang can only pull back and forth when faced with such a group of ferocious beasts. How could anyone be as fierce as the senior, who could kill all the ferocious beasts in one go? Everyone subconsciously compared Xu Jingming with Zhou Mingyang, who ranked first. However, it was discovered that even the star candidate Zhou Mingyang seemed unable to achieve the powerful dominance just now. One person fights against 10 armed sword tigers, and one of them is a first-level mid-level one. This fighting power is probably stronger than Zhou Mingyang, right? Which teacher taught Xu Jingming in No. 2 High School to be so perverted? In the auditorium outside the military area, when Xu Jingming faced the ferocious beasts alone, he attracted the attention of all the teachers, but they didn't think too much, thinking that Xu Jingming would just run away. After all, since the beginning of the competition, no candidate has ever dared to challenge the ferocious beasts in the core area. However, the other party's powerful performance that was close to crushing made every teacher and principal have their jaws dropped. Especially Chen Fan, the head teacher of Class 5, whose old face turned red, obviously extremely excited. The students performed brilliantly, and he, the class teacher, also benefited from the glory. Xu Jingming is actually so strong, that even the principal of No. 2 High School, who was always in a calm mood, couldn't help but widen his eyes with disbelief on his face. The spear is as fast as a dragon and as fast as lightning. Advanced marksmanship. This is definitely an advanced marksmanship. Director of the Education Bureau Zhang Wenshan was equally excited, but the focus of his attention was Xu Jingming's marksmanship. To know that it would take decades for ordinary people to develop a certain weapon skill to an intermediate level, it takes more than half a lifetime to practice to an advanced level. And Xu Jingming is only 18 years old. What kind of genius is this? However, when he thought of Xu Jingming's superpower, he couldn't help but slap his thigh and sighed, "Hey! What a pity." Xu Jingming's current strength is already stronger than Zhou Mingyang's. However, Xu Jingming's E-level superpower destined the opponent to be unable to succeed. Advanced marksmanship, no wonder it's so fierce. Xu Jingming is only 18 years old, but he has already mastered his marksmanship. What kind of understanding is this? Even a genius from a provincial capital city can't possibly master advanced weapon skills, right? Hearing the sigh from the Director of Education Zhang Wenshan, many teachers reacted and expressed surprise again. Principal Zhou, congratulations, it seems that this year's first place in Jiangqing will go to your second high school. After the battle just now, anyone with a discerning eye can see that Xu Jingming is stronger than Zhou Mingyang, and it is only a matter of time before he takes first place. Although Lu Hang, the principal of No. 1 high school, was unwilling to give up, he still congratulated Zhao Yao generously. Principal Lu has received the award. The exam is not over yet, so we are not sure what the result will be. The first high school. The best middle school in Jiangqing not only has rich educational resources, but also gathers the best students in Jiangqing to enroll. After the awakening of powers every year, many outstanding students from second high school transfer to another school because of the favorable conditions provided by first high school. Therefore, it was impossible for Zhao Yao, the principal of No. 1 high school and No. 2 high school, to speak without any hostility. However, the first high school was too strong and there was no chance for the second high school to perform. Now, the highlight moment of the second high school's suppression of the first high school is about to come, but Principal Zhao Yao is not in a hurry, and his tone is very humble. Anyway, Xu Jingming's strength is there. It's not bad that two of us in Jiangqing can break into the top 100 in Jiangnan province. Zhang Wenshan, who finally recovered his emotions, nodded to Zhao Yao. Your second high school is very good this time and has trained a student like Xu Jingming. After the college entrance examination is over, I will propose to the city to reward your second high school. Thank you, Director Zhang. Zhao Yao looked happy. People with special abilities like them who choose to be principals no longer have much hope in improving their strength, and their focus is more on their career. An award will not only bring more resources to No. 2 high school, but he, the principal, will also benefit from it. It is not impossible to go further and enter the Education Bureau in the future. Xu Jingming, you really gave me a big surprise. Zhao Yao was filled with emotion. He never thought that second high school would have such a day. Just as Zhang Wenshan predicted, in the next time, Xu Jingming's score kept rising like a rocket. In less than an hour, he surpassed Zhou Mingyang and became the first place. At this time, the time came to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In other words, the martial arts college entrance examination will end in 6 hours. Chapter 19 Lightning System. Confused Zhou Mingyang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ruined town, core area. In a dilapidated community, more than a dozen ferocious beasts were divided into two camps, fighting each other as lunch prey. The two camps are the one-horned rhinoceros and the armed sword tiger. If the number of both sides is the same, the outcome will be a complete crushing of the one-horned rhinoceros, but there are 8 armed sword tigers here, but only 4 one-horned rhinoceros. In terms of strength, the gap between the two sides is not big, and the armed saber tiger only has the upper hand. It is precisely because of this that although the two sides fought for a long time and bit each other with many bloody wounds, no vicious beast was killed. The ferocious beasts are cruel by nature. Once they start fighting, they will not stop until they kill all the opponents. However, at this moment, one of the armed sword tigers sniffed its nose and suddenly stopped charging. He lowered his body and let out a threatening growl towards the gate of the community. This low roar, like a chain reaction, made all the armed sword tigers and one-horned rhino present stop fighting in a tacit understanding. Then he turned around and turned his head towards the door, with a fierce look on his face. And a body ready to charge at any time. In the gaze of the ferocious beasts, a tall human young man slowly appeared. The young man was wearing a black battle suit and combat boots, and had a tall and slender figure. His eyes were clear and lively, but his eyes were as sharp as a lone wolf. A thick dark spear was carried casually on the shoulder. its sharp blade glowing coldly in the sunlight. 12 ferocious beasts, very good. Xu Jingming nodded with satisfaction. This wave of ferocious beasts was the largest wave he had encountered in this hour. With his right hand, he slapped the tail of the gun hard, and the flying black gun fell into Xu Jingming's hands. Just as he was raising his gun and preparing to attack the group of ferocious beasts, he suddenly frowned, stopped, and looked to the right. Over there is a dilapidated and old building. Come out, I found you. As expected of number 1, your senses are really sharp. A handsome boy with a long sword on his back walked out from the shadow of the building. Zhou Mingyang. Xu Jingming raised his eyebrows. This person is surprisingly none other than Zhou Mingyang, the light wind sword with B-level wind power. Compared with the elegance outside the martial arts examination room, Zhou Mingyang already looked a little dusty at this time. His hair was messy, and his suit was stained with dark red blood that was either from himself or from a ferocious beast, of course. Most candidates in the examination room are also in this state. Xu Jingming himself was the same, but because he was using a long spear, less blood was splattered on his body. Xu Jingming was a little confused. He didn't think that this famous star student would know that he was in second high school. There are only a few people who dare to enter the core area. We are all old acquaintances. Now a stranger suddenly appears. Of course it can only be you in the first place. Zhou Mingyang explained with a smile. I see. Xu Jingming nodded. In the martial arts college entrance examination, candidates cannot attack each other. Once discovered, they will permanently lose their qualifications for the college entrance examination. In addition, both of them have tracking drones above their heads, so there is no need to worry about Zhou Mingyang's sneak attacks. So Xu Jingming held his gun and headed towards the group of ferocious beasts not far away. Wait, are you planning to deal with these ferocious beasts alone? Zhou Mingyang was stunned and quickly reached out to stop him. What? You want to compete with me for monsters? Xu Jingming's eyes became dangerous. To him, the beast not only means points, but also represents ability points. There was no way he would give up these ferocious beasts to others. Meeting Xu Jingming's gaze, Zhou Mingyang felt as if he was being targeted by a powerful beast king, and his skin crawled. What a fierce smell. With an exclamation in his heart, Zhou Mingyang quickly reacted and said quickly. There are 2 first-level middle-ranking ferocious beasts here. You can't deal with them alone. Maybe it's possible for us to join forces. These are 2 different groups of ferocious beasts. Each group of ferocious beasts has a first-level intermediate king. He had been hiding nearby, hoping to wait until both of them were injured before taking action. Now, although the 2 ferocious beasts were injured, their numbers were not reduced, and they were in a violent and ferocious state. No, I can do it alone. Seeing that Zhou Mingyang was not trying to steal monsters, but wanted to cooperate, Xu Jingming's attitude immediately improved a lot. He patted him on the shoulder, then charged out with his gun. Zhou Mingyang wanted to persuade him again, but when he saw Xu Jingming rushing out, he had no choice but to give up. Forget it, since you are so confident, let me see what you can do. Zhou Mingyang stood aside with his sword in hand and began to watch the battle, focusing on Xu Jingming. If anything goes wrong, he will quickly join the battlefield. However, the next scene made Zhou Mingyang's eyes widen. I saw Xu Jingming rushing into the group of ferocious beasts as if he was unparalleled. The black spear in his hand is like a phantom, and it can take away the life of a ferocious beast every time it is drawn. In less than 3 minutes, out of the 12 ferocious beasts in the field, only the last 4 were left. This. Zhou Mingyang was shocked. 2 hours ago, he didn't even know there was such a person. But then, the other party rose like a comet. Not only did he quickly reach the top 10, but he also directly took away his first place just over 10 minutes ago. Zhou Mingyang was naturally very curious about such a fierce person, and even imagined what kind of terrifying powers the other person would have. Is it some extremely powerful A-level ability? However, the opponent just used that black spear and completed the crushing that he couldn't even imagine. Gudong. Zhou Mingyang swallowed and felt his mouth was dry. Does he have some kind of strengthening power? But I didn't see it. Just as he was secretly guessing and thinking on the spot, Xu Jingming in front quickly completed the harvest, and the last Tiger King with an armed sword fell to the ground. Kill a first-level low-level one-horned rhinoceros. gain plus 12 ability points. Kill a first-level mid-level armed sword tiger, and gain plus 15 ability points. Listening to a series of prompts in his mind, Xu Jingming expressed enjoyment. This feeling is really wonderful. But when the martial arts college entrance examination is over, there won't be such a good opportunity. So, we must seize the time. Xu Jingming came back to his senses, said hello to Zhou Mingyang, and left quickly. By the time Zhou Mingyang reacted, Xu Jingming had already jumped 7 or 8 meters away, so he quickly asked loudly, Xu Jingming, do you have enhanced powers? No, it's the lightning type. Xu Jingming's voice came from far away, but his figure had completely disappeared from sight. Thunder type. Zhou Mingyang was stunned. Didn't he look like he had any lightning element here just now? If you don't want to tell me the type of superpower, why don't you treat me like this? He is really a guy with a bad personality. Zhou Mingyang looked resentful. And the look in his eyes just now was actually because he was worried that I would steal him. Who else but a pervert like you can deal with such a herd of ferocious beasts? Besides, there are so many ferocious beasts in the core area, why do we have to worry about not having any ferocious beasts to kill? Speaking of which, I've been waiting here for more than 10 minutes, and you were the one who snatched the monsters from me. In view of Xu Jingming's bad attitude, Zhou Mingyang was still cursing when he left. Chapter 20 All the ferocious beasts were killed by Xu Jingming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After seeing Xu Jingming's strength, Zhou Mingyang cursed, but he knew very well in his heart that Xu Jingming was indeed stronger than him. The monster jumped out of nowhere, and its aura doesn't look like a superpower, but it happened that killing a first-level ferocious beast was as easy as chopping melons and vegetables. After silently complaining a few words in his heart, Zhou Mingyang continued his journey of killing the ferocious beast. He is not as strong as Xu Jingming, but he still has to occupy the second place, so, he shuttled through the core area, looking for ferocious beasts that he could deal with and kill. The first 2 hours were fine. From time to time, I would encounter a lone first-level mid-range beast, or a small group of beasts with only 3 or 4 beasts, but by the 3rd hour, Zhou Mingyang clearly felt that there were far fewer ferocious beasts on the road, and at the 4th hour, he walked around the core area for a long time, but he couldn't see a ferocious beast. What happened? Where have all the ferocious beasts gone? Zhou Mingyang was so numb that he kicked a fist-sized gravel away from the roadside as if to vent his anger. As a person with superpowers, he is quite powerful. The kicked stones flew out and hit a rusty iron billboard, making a loud boom. If it were before, he would never do something like this that would attract the attention of a vicious beast, but now, he hopes that a vicious beast will be attracted. However, the ferocious beast did not attract it. But it attracted several humans. This is a group of 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman, walking this way, waving hello from a distance. Yo, Mingyang. How did you get together? Zhou Mingyang looked at the 3 people walking in front of him in confusion. Like him, they are all students of the rocket class of number 1 high school, first level low-level superpowers. We all know each other and are old acquaintances. In addition to him, these 3 people occupy the other 3 rankings in the top 5 in martial arts. You have to ask Xu Jingming about this. The boy with a bald head on the far right shrugged helplessly. Xu Jingming killed all the ferocious beasts in the core area. We couldn't find the ferocious beasts, so we had no choice but to get together. The girl in the middle added in a soft and cute voice, she is petite, but she carries a big knife with her, which gives people a great sense of contrast. We have been wandering here for more than half an hour, and when we heard a noise here, we thought it was a vicious beast. The boy with long hair on the left shook his head and sighed. Xu Jingming killed all the ferocious beasts. How is that possible? Zhou Mingyang frowned and subconsciously chose not to believe it. After all, in order to prepare for the martial arts college entrance examination, at least 300 to 400 ferocious beasts were released in the core area. With so many ferocious beasts, it is simply impossible to kill them all in just a few hours. You can tell at a glance that you haven't looked at the rankings for a long time. No, just look at Xu Jingming's scores and you'll know. The bald boy turned on his smart watch, and with a buzz, the ranking interface was projected into the air. First place, Xu Jingming, 3,435 points. Jiangqing No. 2 High School. Second place, Zhou Mingyang, 1103 points, Jiangqing No. 1 High School. Third place, Wu Hao, 945 points, Jiangqing No. 1 High School. 3. More than 3,400 points. Seeing the terrifying score of Xu Jingming, who ranked first, Zhou Mingyang, who had always been graceful, almost had his eyes popping out of his head. Now you know why we say that Xu Jingming killed all the ferocious beasts, right? The bald boy smiled bitterly and turned off the virtual projection. The score obtained by killing a first-level low-level ferocious beast is about 14 to 16 points, and the score obtained by killing a first-level mid-level ferocious beast is about 20 to 22 points, 34-35 points, even if you subtract the more than 700 points he scored in the central region. There are still more than 2,500 points. In other words, Xu Jingming killed almost 200 beasts in the core area alone. In addition, a few of us also killed a lot. Counting together, wouldn't we have killed all the ferocious beasts in the core area? Zhou Mingyang was stunned for a moment after hearing these words. After entering the examination room, all he wanted to do was kill as many ferocious beasts as possible and get higher scores, but I never thought that there would be a time when all the ferocious beasts would be killed. Nah. No wonder Xu Jingming was so afraid of being robbed. It turns out he had thought of this a long time ago. 3,435 points. This score is incredible. Xu Jingming's worst score is among the top 10 in Jiangnan province. Top 10. Top 10. When has our Jiangqing ever achieved such good results? Record-breaking, Xu Jingming broke our Jiangqing record. That while Zhou Mingyang in the examination room was shocked by Xu Jingming's score, the principal and teachers outside the examination room were already overjoyed. With a score of 34-35, Xu Jingming is destined to break into the top 10 in Jiangnan province, and this result is also the best result in Jiangqing's history. I never expected that Xu Jingming could achieve this level with just that spear. Zhao Yao, the principal of No. 2 Middle School, felt hot all over his body and couldn't help himself with excitement. What is the concept of the top 10 in Jiangnan province? That is the one that the top 10 colleges and universities in the country will be clamoring for. Qilin appears in the fields. I never expected that we in Jiangqing could have students like Xu Jingming. Zhang Wenshan, director of the Education Bureau, was also smiling from ear to ear. At this time, he no longer cared that Xu Jingming only had E-level powers. After all, with results like this, even if you have F-level abilities, schools are still rushing to get them. But Xu Jingming is really crazy. In just 3 or 4 hours, he almost killed all the ferocious beasts in the core area. From the looks of it, I'm afraid I won't be a fighting maniac in the future. Zhou Mingyang and the others didn't know how many ferocious beasts were released in the core area. How could Zhang Wenshan, the director of the Education Bureau, not know? A total of 450 first-level low-level ferocious beasts and 40 first-level mid-range ferocious beasts were released in the core area. Excluding the number of ferocious beasts killed while fighting each other, as well as the number of kills by Zhou Mingyang and 4 others, Xu Jingming alone killed almost half of the ferocious beasts in the entire core area. But this only happened within 3 or 4 hours, which is enough to illustrate the terrifying strength of Xu Jingming. Xu Jingming's parents both died in an infestation of beasts when he was a child. It may be because of this that he hates ferocious beasts so much. Class teacher Chen Fan added. I see. Zhang Wenshan nodded suddenly, his face turned cold. Sooner or later, we humans will wipe out all the ferocious beasts. Don't worry, there will be a day. Thinking of the ferocious beasts' cruelty, Principal Zhao Yao couldn't help but add in a cold voice.